Okay, so first you see here I will simply print a message, welcome to Java. Okay, now how the application is to be written to execute this particular message. So as I said, Java is fully object oriented, which means Java understands only classes and objects, and all functions must belong to the class. Okay, functions always belongs to classes. Okay, now to first, so let's so this is my class. Okay, class first. So first is the name of my class. Okay, class is the keyword, and first is the name of my Java program. Fine, and also the class name. It is also the class name. Okay, so first is the class name. Then you start designing your class. So inside the class, we will simply write the main function. Okay, this is how we write the main function. Now you see in C or in C++. Okay, you are not familiar with C++, so let's only stick to C. So as you know, in C, program execution always begins from main, because the operating system can directly recognize the main and not any other user defined functions. Okay, likewise even the JVM. Okay, ultimately the program will be executed by JVM. Fine, so it is the JVM which will call the program for execution, and JVM will directly call the main function. Fine, JVM will directly call the main function. That is why you see we have this, we have to write the main function. So that is the reason we have to write the main function. Okay, because it is always the main function which denotes the starting point of your program execution. Okay, that is the reason why we also have main functions in Java. Fine, now we try to understand this entire statement, what this means. Okay, word by word we will understand. Okay, first we start with public. So what is public? Okay, so see, as um, as this particular function, as it is a main function, it will be called by JVM. Okay, so JVM does not belong to this program. Okay, JVM is outside the program. Now for, and if this particular program or this particular function is to be accessed from outside the program, okay, the main should always be declared as public. Fine, public means it is open to all, so anyone outside the program can access or call this particular program for execution. Fine, that is why this public keyword is used. The public is an access specifier, or it is the visibility mode. Okay, in Java we have 4 such visibility modes. We have public, we have private, we have protected, and we have default. We will not discuss this now. Okay, but for the time being, just understand that because JVM is from outside the program, okay, and JVM will direct communicate with the main function, because the main function serves as the starting point of your program execution. So it should be called, so the main function should always be accessible from outside your program. Okay, that is why it is very important that your main function is always declared as public. Okay, so that the JVM can directly locate the main function and it can call. Is that fine? Next we go to static. Now you see, if you see here, we have used the main function inside the class. Yes, so yesterday we have seen how we write variables, okay, which we also call data members in Java, how we write data members and functions inside classes, and what are these data members and functions. Okay, so class, as you know, class is an implementation of object. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Object is an implementation of the class. Class is simply the definition of the objects. Okay, so for any object, okay, whatever properties or functions it will have, all those properties and functions will be defined inside the class. Okay, now if you are to implement the class, you have to create objects. And as we know, Java is object oriented. It is purely object oriented, so it considers everything in terms of classes. Okay, so it is important for us to have a class. Now inside the class we have the main function. Okay, we have placed the main function inside the class. Now as I said already, to be able to use, okay, to be able to access all the members from inside the class, it is important that you create objects of that class. Only if you create objects, okay, only if you create objects of that class, you can access all the data members and member functions from inside the class. Okay, so whatever variables or whatever functions you have inside your class, you can access it only via the objects. So it is very important to create objects to be able to access the class members. And the members can be the data members, which we also call the variables, or the member functions. Is that clear? Here we have a member function of the class, which is the main function. Okay, and this main function will not be called by any object of the class. If you see this program, have I created any object here? So how do we create objects? How do we create objects? By using, first you create object by, in the last class I showed you already, we use the class name just as in structure. How do we declare structure variables? Struct student and then the student variables. Yes, so likewise here we will not use the class keyword. Okay, just ignore the class keyword, but the rest is the same as in structure. Okay, you have to use your class name, which is your first. Okay, then you have to specify the object that you want to create. Okay, then what you will do is, using that object created, you have to access the function. So here my function is main. So this is how you access functions from inside class using objects. Okay, but in my case this is not valid. Why? Because the object that I have created, this is my object. Okay, this is my object and the main function. Okay, so using my object I'm calling the main function, but the main function is not to be called by your object. The main function is to be called by whom? The JVM, which is from outside this class. Is that fine? That is why, since JVM has to directly call the main function and JVM has no relation to this class, so we need not create any object for this class. Can you understand what I'm saying? Just in simple terms.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Direct no, ma'am. Huh? See.
Ma'am, I didn't understood this part.
Which point? Okay, I'm explaining again. Okay, I'm explaining again. See, as we discussed in the previous class, we define all the properties and behavior that belongs to an object inside the class. Yes. So, and to be able to access those properties or behavior from the class, we create objects. Okay, you have done this in structure also in C programming. Yes, it is very much the same thing. But here you see, I have a class, yes, correct. I have a function inside the class main, correct. Now, the problem is the main function is not to be called by the object of your class. This OBJ will not call the main function. The main function needs to be called by JVM because it is the entry point. Okay. just as in C, to execute the program, it is very important to call the main function. And who will call the main function? Your operating system. So there must not be any dependency to call the main function. The operating system has to be directly able to call the main function so that your entire program gets executed. Yes. So even in here, even in your program, main is that particular entry point. Okay. From where your program execution will start. And this main function will be called by JVM. That is why we don't have to create objects to access this main function, because these are your objects. You have created these objects and these objects belongs to this class. But JVM has nothing to do with class objects. JVM needs to directly call the main function without creating objects. Okay, JVM can directly call the main function without creating objects. It has got no dependency that to access class member you have to create objects and then you call the main function. Main function is never called by the class objects. Main function is always called by JVM. And so that JVM can directly call the main function without having to create objects for that class. Okay. So we use the keyword static. Static allows calling of the main function directly without having to create objects for the class. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
In simple language, simply. So next we have the void main. So what is void? Void is nothing but the return type. Okay, it is return type, and main, as you know, this is the function name. Fine. Next we have string argument. So what is this? Okay, we will try to understand it in this way. You see, okay. So let's not directly get into this. Okay, first I will just skip it. I will explain it a bit later. Okay, you come inside the main function. Okay, I think you have understood till here. You have understood this and this. Now you come inside. Okay, you come inside the main function. Here we have only one statement. I'm so sorry. Here we have only one statement, which is system.out.println. Welcome to Java. Okay. Now you see, I want to, as I said, just wait, huh? As I said, I will be simply displaying this message on the output string. Okay, welcome to Java. Now for that, I have used system.out.println. Now what are these you see? System.out.println. So system is actually a class. Okay, system is a class of Java Lang package. So I have not used it here. You can also use it here. Okay, I'm explaining it to you. Java.lang.start. Okay, even if you don't use it, the program will work fine. But so that you understand, I have written it here. See, this system class belongs to Java Lang package. Okay, and these are nothing but these are library files. These are library. Okay, your your Java library will consist of packages. And what is a package? Package is nothing but it is a huge set of classes and interfaces. Okay, just as in C, you have library, you have header files. So what are those header files? Header files consist of the predefined functions that can be readily used in our program. So likewise, here we have Java packages, not header files. Okay, we have some Java packages inside which we have many classes, okay, many related classes, okay, many related classes and interfaces available. So if we are to use those classes in our program, then we have to import them in our class, in our program. Okay, we have to import them, we have to include them. So in C, you used hash include, okay, which was used to include. Okay, so include was the preprocessor component which helped include the header files in our program. So here we will make use of the keyword import. So this will help us include or import, okay, the all the Java Lang packages, okay, sorry, all the Java Lang classes in our program. So all the classes that belongs to this package can be now used in your program. Fine, it is as simple as that. Now, system class is used for standard input, it is used for standard output, it is also used for error output streams. Okay, now talking about, since here I am dealing with only output, because I am not reading any value, I am only displaying something that I have written. So for that I need standard output. Okay, so that is why I have used system.out. Okay, so I will be using system.out. So what this statement means is, as I said, system is a class from Java Lang package, okay, which can be used for system input, output, and for error. Okay, here I am using the system class for standard output. Now you see, what does each of this mean? So system is the final class which is defined in the Java Lang package. Okay, then we have out. What is this out? This out is an instance or an object. Okay, this is an object of the print stream type. Okay, this is an object of the print stream class, and it is a static public member of the system class. Okay, it is a static variable, it is a static variable of the system class, and it is a object, it is an instance of the print stream class. Okay, and this println is a function, it is a member function of the print stream class. Okay, so again I repeat, system is a class which belongs to the Java Lang package, which we have imported using the import keyword in our program. Fine. Next we have out. So out is a static public variable of the system class. It is a variable of the system class, and it is a instance of the print stream. Okay, so print stream, then we have the println function, which is an function. Okay, this is out is the object of the print stream class, and println is the function of the print stream class. Okay, so the print stream, to use this particular function println, okay, you need to access it using the object. As you all know, to be able to access the functions belonging to a class, we have to create objects of that class. Okay, so this function is of the print stream class. Okay, and to be able to use this particular function, to be able to access this function, you have to create objects of that class. So that is why this out is an object of the print stream class, and also it is a variable, static variable of the system class. Okay, so now system.out.println will simply display this on my standard output device, okay, which is my monitor. Now what is this println? You see, inside the print stream class, there are many functions for printing. Okay, so one is println. Also, you will find print, only print. You also have printf. So there are many different functions. You will have print, you will have, okay, let me simply write it here. You have print, you have println, okay, you will also have printf. So there are different ways of printing your results on the output screen. Okay, there are various functions present in the print stream. Fine. However, they have different meanings in the sense, if you simply use this print, if I simply use print, it will display, okay, it will be displayed as it has been written here. Now if suppose I have another statement, okay, I have another statement here. Say hello. Okay, now if I am to print these two statements, you see, if I write print only, this statement will be executed as it has been given here. The next statement, what will happen is the next message will be displayed alongside this particular message in the same line. So basically ln indicates next line. Okay, we don't use /n, we will simply use ln. Ln means whenever you are to display something, it gets displayed from the next line. Okay, so you can choose, you can either use print or you can use println, it is up to you. Fine. So if I only use print, then both my messages will get displayed on the single line. And if I write here println, okay, then it will be displayed on the next line. Fine. So this is what print and println is all about. Fine. So is it clear till here? Is system.out.println clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Any
Yes,
doubt,
ma'am.
anyone? Any doubt? So we have mentioned about, what did I mention here? I'm again repeating. I said why we use public with the main function, why we use static. Okay, I have left this for, you know, I will explain this a bit later. Okay, then I have explained why, what system out and println is. So I again repeat, system is a class of the Java Lang package. Okay, so these are some there are some inbuilt classes in the you know, in your Java. Okay, in your Java compiler, JDK, there will be some inbuilt classes. So to be able to use those classes, you have to import them in your program. Okay, and all those classes belongs to some packages. All related classes belongs to packages. Here we don't use header files. Here we use packages. So all packages needs to be imported accordingly to your program so that the classes belonging to those packages can be used in your program. Simple. Now system is just a class. Out is a static variable of system class, and it is a function or a member function of print stream class. Okay, so what the print stream class do? You know, it helps print representations of data values. Okay, it will simply help in printing the streams, okay, that we have, you know, provided, that we have fed. Okay, so this is simply the object of print stream class. And as we know, to be able to use, since we are to display, we are to print something, we need function. We have this function printf, println function or print function. Now to be able to access functions from a class, we need to create objects accordingly. So that is why this particular function name has been used along with the object name. Fine. So out is the object of print stream class. Println is the object of println, is the function of println class, which is accessed using the out object. Okay. So whenever you are to display something, please be informed that you always have to mention each of these 3 words. Fine. And most importantly, Java is case sensitive, which means small s and capital S will have different meanings. So you have to be very much particular while writing Java program. Okay? You cannot write small s for system, or you cannot write capital O for out. Okay? So this is how we write a Java program. Now let us see how we run it. Okay? Okay, since this class will end now, okay, less than 1 minute is left. Please again join back using the same link. Fine? This class is ending now. Join back using the same link. There I will understand it. There I will show you the execution part, and I'll make you understand string arguments.